When mentioning the book title, Make Elephants Fly, you might naturally think of the phrase, when pigs fly. Although these expressions come from different cultural contexts, they share a similar meaning: achieving seemingly impossible goals. If you're an entrepreneur, this resonates deeply with you because you understand how challenging it is to break established patterns through innovation. You can't simply wait for the perfect moment, as opportunities don't always present themselves. Yet innovation, as the driving force behind global progress and wealth creation, is something we must all persistently pursue. Make Elephants Fly reveals the behind-the-scenes journey of Silicon Valley, the world's innovation factory. For those who want to change the world through innovation, this book serves as a practical guide from 0 to 1. Importantly, since author Steven Hoffman frequently travels between the United States and China and deeply understands the Chinese startup market, this book is essentially a startup Bible tailored for Chinese entrepreneurs. Who is Steven Hoffman? He's a renowned startup mentor and investor in Silicon Valley, and his pioneering incubator is recognized by Forbes. Silicon Valley founders affectionately call him Captain Hoffman. Captain Hoffman's life story is remarkable. His father was an MIT professor specializing in astronautical rocket science, while his mother was a modern abstract artist. During his high school years, Hoffman was already directing short films and developing software. Over decades, he successfully worked as an investor, programmer, film producer, and game designer. As he puts it, "I'm half engineer, half artist at heart." Such diverse experience enables his unique insights into innovation. Today's audio will explore innovation through 4 aspects: finding direction, building teams, product design, and creating core competitiveness, taking you on a journey through opportunity windows. Let's start with our first topic: finding innovative directions. Opportunities exist regardless of market conditions. Many entrepreneurs mistakenly believe innovation only means technological advancement. In common perception, from space shuttles to everyday details, almost all innovation seems inextricably linked to technological change. Without technology, how can there be innovation? Hoffman believes technology is just one component of innovation, and not necessarily the most crucial part for many entrepreneurs. In this process, learning and imitation aren't shameful but rather necessary steps in innovation. Historically, most inventions remain dormant for decades before becoming viable commercial products. This applies to the light bulb, internal combustion engine, and electronic computer. For instance, while we typically credit Edison with inventing the light bulb, Heinrich Goebel had actually created a reliable light bulb using similar principles and materials decades earlier. Edison improved upon this foundation, pioneering its commercial value. After acquiring the patent, he experimented with filaments and by 1880 had created the carbonized bamboo filament bulb. The light bulb maintained its illumination for 1,200 hours in the laboratory before finally making its way into millions of homes. You see, even though it was later proven that Edison wasn't the first to invent the light bulb, his contribution to humanity in terms of improving people's daily lives was significant. It was precisely because he bridged technology with business that we have the illuminated world we enjoy today. Meanwhile, the early light bulb inventors who focused solely on technology have gradually faded into obscurity. Hoffman quotes Enlightenment philosopher Voltaire's famous saying, "Originality is nothing but judicious imitation," expressing the idea that when people can imitate something and know it will work, they won't voluntarily take the risk of inventing something new. From this perspective, many well-known brands were familiar with innovate not through technology itself, but through how they apply it. Notable examples include Uber, the private car-sharing platform later acquired by Didi, and Airbnb, the home space sharing platform. Looking at these objectively, they represent successes not in technology but in business models. Speaking of business model success, perhaps the most successful example is Jobs' transformation and innovation of Apple. The iPhone doesn't contain any particularly unreachable technology. In fact, most components in an iPhone aren't even manufactured by Apple. When dissecting an iPhone, you'll find that its hardware and chips typically come from third parties, including Apple's competitor Samsung. However, when Apple's products hit the shelves, they represent a deep understanding of customer needs. From this perspective, Apple's innovation lies in designing customer experiences and the app ecosystem, aspects that can't be explained by pure technological innovation alone. Let's summarize the first key point of innovation. Technology isn't the only element of innovation. The most crucial aspect is user experience led by design. In this process, learning and imitation aren't shameful but rather necessary steps in innovation. Once we've determined our innovation direction, we're ready to set sail. But it's crucial to start with a small team, as smaller teams collaborate more smoothly. In small teams, members can work together in ways impossible for larger groups. Conversely, as groups grow larger, people become more cautious. After all, no one wants to appear foolish in front of a large group, right? When a team exceeds 10 people, its work pace naturally slows down, making it difficult to respond quickly to innovation, which can be disastrous for startups. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos made a vivid analogy. If a team can't be fed with 2 pizzas, then that team is too big. I can handle half a pizza by myself, so a team only needs 4 people like me. For such a lean team, how should the roles be divided? For a startup team, you first need someone who thoroughly understands the business, customers, and market. This person must be an excellent team leader who can communicate well with the outside world and sell the team's vision and products globally. That's your CEO. Additionally, the startup needs someone deeply passionate and knowledgeable about technology, a tech enthusiast. This person can turn ideas into reality using technology and is willing to roll up their sleeves for mundane tasks like coding and testing. This is your CTO, Chief Technology Officer. You'll also need a creative design lead. You might wonder why. Because design is often central to any good innovative project. Small design changes can have massive impacts. Just look at Apple. In successful startups, the importance of design thinking cannot be underestimated. Every good innovation team needs a designer from the start. As Dave McClure, founder of 500 Startups, famously says, every team needs a hacker, a hustler, and a designer. Lastly, having a domain expert in the team is invaluable. Their specific expertise depends on your business needs. This person should be research-oriented or have years of practical experience in the field. They help course-correct when you need breakthrough in critical technical areas. Do these 4 roles guarantee success? Not quite. Your team needs social dynamics too, as isolated entrepreneurs can easily get stuck. Without good communication, frustration can set in quickly. Creating an environment of open dialogue is crucial. Take Socrates as an example. He regularly engaged in intellectual discussions with Athenians, encouraging people to question everything. Through these challenges, his ideas evolved continuously. With ideas and team in place, startups face another crucial issue: money. You might think more funding earlier is better, but that's not always true. Captain Hoffman suggests avoiding too much early investment, as excess capital can be poisonous. This conclusion comes from observing countless startup failures. A classic example is Color, a startup that raised $41 million for a photo-sharing app shortly after founding. While this number would excite most startups, it proved detrimental for Color. Why? After investing $41 million, venture capitalists naturally expected their business vision to materialize. Under pressure, the Color team lost their way. From CEO to designers to technical staff, everyone's mindset became unstable. Unfortunately, this happened before their product was truly mature. The company embarked on rapid development. After a series of failed directional adjustments, Color eventually sold its assets to Apple at a very low price. Regarding startup teams, Hoffman's advice is, once you have an idea and have decided to start a business, begin with a small team of fewer than 5 people. Don't let large investments come in too early. Instead, wait for the right timing while focusing on executing current tasks effectively. After addressing direction and personnel issues, you should consider product development. When it comes to building products, we should love them, but not too much. This sounds simple but isn't easy to practice, as people are often blinded by seemingly correct principles. For instance, common business beliefs like reducing costs is key to success, bonuses improve employee performance, or pursuing accountability reduces human error all have fatal flaws. Take the U.S. airline industry as an example. We know that the airline industry's final product is service, and its biggest cost is human resources. Airlines that pay higher wages, like Southwest Airlines, actually perform better than those like United Airlines that significantly cut employee wages. Why? Because people are ultimately responsible for service delivery. When you reduce employee wages, they become anxious and frustrated, resulting in poorer customer service, unthinkable for a service-centered industry like aviation. How does clarifying these concepts help with product development? It trains your thinking, allowing you to view products more rationally and dialectically, and helps you target your users more precisely. When designing products, create a list of user needs, distinguishing between real and false demands. This list helps eliminate your habitual thinking. How do we judge? Let's take beauty products as an example. Consider these judgments and their follow-up questions. Teenage girls want to be prettier. Don't they want to be smarter too? Teenage girls don't care about social issues. Do they care about environmental issues? Teenage girls prefer cute designs. Don't they like sophisticated designs too? Teenage girls prefer shopping in large malls. Don't they like shopping on smartphones? After this back-and-forth process, doesn't the outline of your customer's true needs become clearer? However, this isn't enough. A truly good product design must consider issues from the user's perspective. Let's use Apple as an example. When Apple launched the iPod, there were already many MP3 players on the market. Apple knew it couldn't win on hardware alone, so they focused on users' real needs, the personal experience of listening to music. First, they created a complete ecosystem that made buying and playing music in the copyright-strict US market an enjoyable experience. Second, they focused on user details, noting that when people bring home new electronic products, they usually can't use them immediately because they need charging. Remember experiencing this in earlier years? So they made a small improvement, ensuring every battery in their product packaging was fully charged upon delivery to users. To develop new core competencies, companies need new distribution channels, marketing approaches, technologies, and ecosystems. But is this the right choice for most companies? Hoffman believes this is absolutely not what most companies should do, as Google is one of the few companies in the world that can afford such high-risk gambles. Yes, you heard it right. Innovation outside core competencies is indeed a high-risk gamble, or rather, innovation itself is a gamble. Looking at Google's track record, innovation beyond its boundaries has never been easy. Google has simultaneously pursued hundreds of projects, from ingestible cancer detection pills to drone delivery services, from energy kites to internet balloons. Most of these projects have failed. So if you're not Google, it's better to innovate within or adjacent to your core competencies, as this helps reduce the cost of trial and error. While we mentioned Nike's failed smart wristband venture earlier, Nike has been successful in many areas where they have expertise. Over the past decades, Nike has expanded from jogging into tennis, basketball, golf, and other sports. What's Nike's secret to success? They have a mature strategy. Starting with what they know best, shoes. They first establish market leadership, then launch entire clothing lines endorsed by top athletes in each sport. For golf, they chose Tiger Woods. For basketball, Michael Jordan. After establishing a foothold in these markets, they gradually introduce related sports equipment and accessories. This highly successful expansion model has left even major competitors like Reebok in the shade. If you want to replicate this successful model, stay focused and don't randomly innovate outside your core competencies. To ensure your innovation stays within boundaries, develop a plan and have your team answer these questions when ideas first emerge. 1. What are your core competencies? 2. How can you effectively utilize your core competencies? 3. What types of products can leverage your strengths? 4. Can you gain unfair competitive advantages? 5. Which adjacent areas can you expand into? 6. What's your innovation plan for the next 5 years? In summary, while core competencies are important, building them requires a clear understanding of your products and team, and well-defined business boundaries without blind expansion. Technology isn't the only element of innovation. Design-led user experience is crucial. Learning and imitation aren't shameful but necessary steps in innovation. When starting a business, begin with a small team of under 5 people, avoid early large investments, and focus on executing well while waiting for the right opportunities. In product design, learn to distinguish genuine needs from false ones, solving real user problems. Finally, build core competencies with a clear understanding of your products and team, maintaining defined business boundaries without reckless expansion.